To the Chase Sports Podcast. We bring you unique insight and analysis behind your favorite teams. I'm your host, Chase Shantz. Matt's not here today. He's taking a nice little break. You know, gotta get himself right and all. To the right, I got Brady. Brady, what's going on with you?
Man, not much, man. Just excited to, get back into the scene of football. Well, I mean, not that we haven't, but just excited to expand on these last few weeks and everything coming up with the combine and all that for sure, and the drafts in general. For sure.
Most definitely. And I can't even say he's a guest. He's damn near a regular right here.
Yeah, can I be like, what they say? They say like what, friend of the program?
Friend of the program, yeah. Mr. Kris Drew down there, he's doing his own thing. What's up with you, Chris?
My guy, living the dream. You know, I live for this kind of thing. So whenever I get that message, hey, you want to go on? Yes.
Bro,
yes. I'm all for it.
For sure. Absolutely. Got to make it. I mean, honestly, like this is basically like Chase said, like this is a regular thing at this point. Like I remember we said the Fantastic Four last time with Matt.
That was the dopest episode we'd ever done. Like that episode was very dope. I was all into it.
That was great, bro. That was one of the best episodes we've ever done for sure.
Got that right, man. Sure. That was a fun one. Obviously, one of the four ain't here right now. He's doing his own thing, but we got to dive right into it. We'll start off with some unfortunate stuff right now. The thoughts on Jalen Carter's situation. There was the whole thing. He was involved in that. The car accident and all that here in January. Just a lot of unfortunate stuff came from it. What did you think when you first saw the news break earlier this morning, Chris?
Yeah, obviously we all know the headlines. There was an accident that took place, costing two members of the Georgia football team their life. One was a staffer, one was a player, and kind of details about this coming out a little bit later. Obviously, for starters, that's a super unfortunate situation. The second part of it is now coming out that Jalen Carter was somewhat involved. It feels like it was a street racing incident, and obviously that coming out now and the warrant out for his arrest means that it is not nothing. And so that is concerning. So for my first thoughts is it's very sad. And before I get into kind of some character issues, this whole thing screams like young and dumb, not, oh, he's a problem. Now, what I will say is for him in particular, he's got to look himself in the mirror and kind of overcome this and choose to grow. Because I don't know if you both know, but he had a speeding ticket not long before that that cost him $1,000 fine. He was going 85 and a 35. And
my goodness.
The judge went to Georgia football. They have basically a guy that is the handler for the football players to make sure that stuff doesn't get out and stuff kind of stays in the house. And Jalen Carter didn't learn from that situation. And because he didn't learn from that, now there was a situation that he was involved in where two people lost their lives. So for Jalen Carter, he's got to grow from this because the first time it's already a bad look having the racing incident and having the ticket one time. Second time, someone costing their life. If it happens for a third time, there are some serious question marks whether he wants to learn, adapt, and grow and make the sacrifices that people have to go through as they enter adulthood. Like you can be young and stupid. Y'all know me.
There's tons of people who are all young.
We've all been there.
Young and stupid. But part of being young and stupid is you can't be young forever. You can be stupid forever. So he's got to grow up a little bit and get that right. I don't think this hurts his draft stock at all. Maybe a spot or two, but he's a freaky generational talent on that front. And then my last thought on it is like when there's a warrant out for an arrest, you think, okay, jail. If I ever was in jail, like, and I saw Jalen Carter, someone that size, someone that freaky, twitched up,
you ain't touching him, bro. You ain't
cool. Like what?
Yeah, you like, bro? Hey, you got your own space and all that. You can sleep wherever the fuck you want. You know what I'm saying?
You want my food? Like I don't want it anymore. Like,
I'm all right.
Jalen Carter, I'm not going to squabble with that. So that's my thoughts on Jalen Carter. I hope he gets it right. Obviously, he has to feel somewhat responsible for one of his teammates losing their life, but I don't think it affects his draft stock too much.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. I mean, obviously, like I said, all of us have done young and dumb stuff, overall. Hopefully he's able to grow from it. Like I said, he's a generational talent. He's still going to go very high in this draft. If more information comes out on this and it's just obviously, not good, then that's another story for another time. But hopefully
I think it's so far away from the draft, though, that it won't really cost him anything.
Yeah. It's not like a Laramie Tunsil where he posts a video.
read my mind.
We can laugh at that one.
He was hitting the bong. He said, "Ripperooski." Hey, that changed the NFL forever.
It did.
Though. It did.
I remember when that happened. I was just like smirking about it. Like, there's nothing else you can do.
Like the long-term effects are Waddle and Hill both being on Miami.
Exactly. The trickle-down effect goes almost a decade in advance. Like, it's unbelievable how he changed the whole course of potentially the National Football League right there, man.
Hey, he's the OG to the NFL.
You got that right. Shoot.
I put him on the logo, bro.
Shit, he started that whole era, bro. I
mean, get him on the cover of Madden. Do something.
Man,
honestly, put him on there instead of like the Madden curse is really will change if you put him on there. If you put him on the cover of Madden,
put him in there.
Shit, it might do him some good though. I don't know.
Bong mask on.
You have the bong on there.
2023. I love Laremy Tunsil. He's like my favorite player that I've never actually sat down and watched him in a game.
Honestly, me too.
Like I've watched the Dolphins, watched the Texans, but I've never sat there and like, damn, how's Laremy doing? No,
yeah, like I love how the way that he does his pass pro sets. Like, no, we don't, you know what I'm saying? We don't, 1-2 Chuck, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. I mean, talk about offensive linemen, but shit, let's talk about quarterbacks, Brady. What you got?
All right, so we're approaching the draft, obviously, and it's a fun time of year. You know, it's not football season necessarily, but it's like a break of the offseason where you're like just really wanting to figure things out that have been talked about since they were freshmen in college. We've been talking about these QBs. Right. So who are your top 5 prospects heading into the combine in this draft?
Top 5 prospects heading into the combine at the quarterback position. So first, I have Bryce Young. I think CJ Stroud has a better skill set, but I think Bryce Young is more can't miss because I don't think Bryce Young needs a good offensive line to be successful. So a lot of times one of the things that happens with teams at the top of the draft is like who's the most foolproof, and a lot of times more mobile guys who are magicians who have better pocket awareness end up being that. So because of that, I do have Bryce Young as 1. I've got CJ Stroud as 2. I've got Will Levis as 3. I think I have Anthony Richardson at 4, but I'm not entirely sure. Like it gets really tricky. Right. And then I think I have Hendon Hooker ahead of both of them actually. So I have Hendon Hooker 3, and then we'll go Levis and then AR. It's kind of where I'm at. Anthony Richardson is tricky though, because I wouldn't draft him.
Not one bit. No, not in the first round. Hell
no. He's a freak. Like he's an absolute freak, but like. It's so – if you actually watch him play football, like if you sit down and watch a Florida game, you likely like are sitting here just watching him like this dude is one of the weirdest quarterbacks I've ever seen play because if he's throwing a slant, he's throwing at the same speed as he throws a seam. Like he is launching that thing, and it's so hard to catch because the ball comes out at 60 miles.
It's like a Aroldis Chapman.
That's exactly it.
It's like, bro, lobbing something. Don't throw so hard. And honestly, like, so here we go. So outside of the top 10, if I'm outside the top 10, I guess I'm really up and down on AR. I wouldn't draft him. If I'm a team in the second round that can afford to do that, I would. But also, if I'm a team in the second round and I can afford to swing on someone that is not getting enough recognition, in my opinion, I think I'd rather swing on DTR.
Yeah.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
He hasn't been talked about at all, but
no.
I'm looking around the NFL, and if you are a solid enough built team, I don't want you to be a superhero.
No.
Like just do your job. If I'm the Niners and DTR gives me stability, he is mobile, he's been durable. He doesn't take big risks. Yeah. He plays in a semi NFL system in terms of like a lot of the concepts they run are from the NFL.
Yeah.
Yep. I think I like DTR as a round 2 or 3 project.
I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot that he was in this draft.
Everybody said that. Yeah. He's not getting talked about at all. But it's like if I fall in love with Bryce Young and I can't get up to get Bryce Young, I think I might just wait a little bit because he's like a poor man's Bryce Young. Or if I'm a team with a mobile quarterback that might be injured, like if I'm Arizona and I'm like kind of hit or miss on Kyler Murray, I might go get DTR and let him sit there. Like if I'm a place like that, I don't know. He has what I've been deemed as like the new modern skill set for NFL quarterbacks.
Right.
And the fact that he's getting 0 pubs surprises me. Additionally, he just started playing quarterback. Like in his quarterback arc, relatively new. His first time starting at quarterback was his senior year of high school.
Yep.
So he's a guy that has like long-term blow-up potential. And I've seen guys all around the league start. Like his skill set to me is better than a skill set of a guy like, Kyler Murray. I mean, excuse me, Brock Purdy.
So
that's all I got.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean,
Brock Purdy was overblown hype-wise this season due to the situation around him, in my opinion. Like I'm telling you, like if any solid
quarterback for the 49ers.
Yeah, exactly. We can hand off the ball and all, and it's no slight to Brock Purdy. He did the thing,
right.
He, what I'm saying? Like he got an opportunity, but still, you could put like one of us back there. We could hand the ball off to Christian McCaffrey. We could hit a Debo Samuel and let him go 70 yards. Like
he's like miniature Trey Lance. That's what DTR is. He's mini Trey Lance. And so if I like Trey Lance enough to go number 2 overall, whoop-de-woo. I do not number 3 overall. I'd rather give me DTR. That's where I'm at.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I like that. And here's one thing I would like to say. Obviously, we were talking up. I like the DTR pick, but when we're talking about like the risky quarterbacks like a Will Levis who, has been praised by Colin Cowherd for some reason. I don't know what's going on with that. And then, Anthony Richardson and all that. I actually have a quarterback waiver that we should sign. It's a piece of paper. It says quarterback waiver. You can't really see it, but a quarterback waiver, it's, I hereby declare that we will take anything that goes with it. Any bad things, any inadvertent throws, interceptions, pick sixes, blow ups, or anything like that. And you know what? I'm going to sign my name on the dotted line, and I'm going to say that these guys are fucking ass. I didn't know where I was going with that myself, but I still think that some of the like Will Levis in the right situation, if he develops for a year or two, is going to be okay.
I've never seen so many scouts and GMs defend bad tape. Well,
I agree with that for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know. This is the time of year, though, when it's like, I'm not going to say the combine, people like kind of rave over that stuff. They rave over like the measurables and all that. But when you get to pro days, when you see these guys throw at their receivers, that's when all of the tape.
Pro day is going to be absurd.
Oh, you got that right. Yeah.
I can't wait to hear all this. I swear, the 2021 like draft, so like after the 2020 season, I've never seen more dumb analysts than what came from the Zach Wilson pro day. Like,
oh goodness,
this dude. I mean, he wasn't like at BYU. He was pretty good. All right, like he was a solid quarterback. Nothing that blew my mind. He's short. His arm was solid, and he was accurate against terrible teams. All right,
it's terrible.
Nobody can say a short king. He's not a king. He's with MILFs, but that's a different.
Yeah.
We go with that. Yeah.
That was the best thing he brought to his. That's the best part of his career so far.
He got that dog in him on the field, so
Yeah. But crazy. It's so funny because he doesn't celebrate that way. Like he'll never be remembered, but he is Johnny Manziel. Like
he Johnny Manziel than Baker Mayfield was Johnny Manziel. I mean, it's like those three.
There, Those three are very similar.
Like he was at BYU for 4 years, never got voted captain. It was always the Zach show.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know, but his family owns JetBlue.
Did not know that.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. So like during the week, he would take a private jet and fly out somewhere and take girls with them out.
That does not surprise me one bit.
It's like that. Like we're asking that guy to give up his lifestyle and grind and work at being a quarterback.
No shot.
Wow.
No shot.
His family is richer than anybody else in the NFL.
Yeah. Oh, he's
richer.
He didn't have any motivation.
Everything. Yeah. Jeez.
Mm-hmm. So to ask that guy to sit down and go through the grind to be an NFL quarterback, we're good.
I'm good.
Yeah, not him. Not him. And then also Trey Lance too was just like, why? Just why? Like
that wouldn't surprise me, especially because he's black.
Like,
don't y'all know
no shit.
Black?
Yeah,
I'm saying it's like, damn, if he was like a big white guy, it's like, all right, like I saw, like wink, wink, I got you, but black, you took him over Justin Fields. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They're literally.
I don't know
They
what
were
John
like,
Lynch was thinking.
they're they even look similar.
That's
like
what I'm saying. It's just like
their faces like look very similar. Like
yeah,
their
they
hairstyles.
do. Yeah.
it's like one like the little cousin. Like Trey Lance looked like Justin's little cousin.
He looked like everyone's little cousin, you know?
Yeah, he's little cousin. It's like, damn, I want to be like you. Oh, the Trey Lance thing. Here we go. I don't know if you guys remember the coverage of Trey Lance by Colin Cowherd.
Yeah, his daughter.
Yep. Yeah, so when his daughter was dating him, it was great. Yep. And now the daughter broke up with him.
Oh, yeah. About flipping the switch, Dave. We won't go too far into that, but shit, that's funny, though.
the Trey Lance draft pick, number 3 overall, to me is the most head-scratching pick I've seen since I've been around the sport from a guy who I consider a really intelligent GM.
Yeah.
That's why it puzzled me, because that was a guy that at what averaged, I believe, 11 attempts at North Dakota State, throwing attempts per game.
Yeah.
Didn't play any competition. Nope. Didn't play the whole 2020 season except for one game where he didn't look that good.
Yeah, he was through his first pick and no touchdowns. Yeah.
His measurables were all similar to Justin Fields, but without the enormous upside. It's one of the more confused. Like, if it's about molding a guy into an NFL quarterback, it's like Justin Fields has more tools and more traits.
Yeah.
It's absolutely a plug and play right there. Like, in that system, it's a plug and play. You're instead of playing, instead of being in the NFC Championship against the Rams and you blow a 10-point lead, you might be playing the Bengals in the Super Bowl that year.
100%.
Even this year, you might be the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? 100%. Like,
and additionally, Justin Fields, despite how bad the Bears are, he has never. This last year, he didn't lose to any of the guys in his draft class that were drafted over him.
Yeah. That was nice. That was nice to see. I'm not
beat Mac. I mean, he double-digit touchdowns against playoff teams. They led the NFL in scoring for 1 month, which is absurd.
Yeah, like that's wild.
People bring up their record when trying to bring him down, but they were in games they had no business being in with these playoff teams, like a lot because of him, like making these superhero plays. Because obviously, we all know the Bears, they suck. They're abysmal. Like,
I'm glad I'm not a Bears fan. Wow.
Their O-line and receiving core.
Yep.
It's abysmal. Abysmal. I really hope JSN ends up as a Bear. I'll be honest.
I want them to give 5 picks for that number 1 overall pick.
Dude, they need to. They need to. And they need to build around Justin with those 5 picks as well as they can.
Yep. Now, I mean, talk about receivers, Kris. Talk about JSN going to be a Bear or something like that. They're going to trade the number 1 overall pick. Hopefully, that's the whole guess right there. Where would you put JSN in the wide receiver prospects? And I mean, I think it's you kind of just take it away. You obviously got him, Quentin Johnson. How do you kind of rank these guys?
Yeah, he's my top receiver in the class. Kind of by a pretty wide margin.
I would,
Me too.
I like Jordan Addison second. I like Quentin Johnson third. And then fourth, it's a toss-up. The 4 is like a group of 3 that I think are all really similar, but I really like. It's like the elite slot receivers, Downs, Flowers, and Tank Dell.
Yeah, those are good. Tank is a stud. People don't realize.
Yeah, like they're all really similar, all really good after the catch with burst. But my guys with first-round grades are really only JSN, high first-round grade, Jordan Addison, low first-round grade. Other than that, I worry. I would take QJ. I just need him to refine his route running. And then kind of that second group is like all the slot guys. So from our receiver-wise, and with receivers, like fit is so important. Like, I would like to see Quentin Johnson go to the Bills, go play next to Diggs.
Definitely.
That would be ideal. They could do a lot of cool stuff. And with Josh Allen's big arm, just throw it up, like go be like that.
Yeah.
I honestly, out of that group of 7 I just named, I would like 2 to end up with the Bears. And I would like one of them to be JSN and the other one to be the Downs kid from North Carolina, because I think he can play inside or outside. He reminds me a lot of those smaller guys like Stephon Diggs actually at that. So I'd like those 2 to end up with the Bears. Jordan Addison, I think, feels like the missing piece to kind of the Eagles 3. I think he does a couple things really, really well. I don't think he's good enough to be a true number one in the league, but he's worth a first rounder because I think he's an elite 2, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's where I'm at, kind of wide receiver wise.
Yeah.
But I'm really high on JSN. Like, I think JSN's ceiling is a guy like Cooper Kupp, and I think his floor is Adam Thielen.
And
that's a good floor and a good ceiling.
Exactly. Yeah. And I actually saw, this is kind of funny. I saw an edit of him in a Cincinnati Bengals jersey. We're not going to do that, but like,
here's the thing. There's going to be a temptation if he's available.
Oh, yeah.
There will. I get it.
Bro, if you're on a diet, bro, and you're not eating any meat, and I put down a great cut of steak.
I feel it. It's pretty enticing. I just had some steak earlier. Yeah.
And then I put let's face it, linemen are like the chips of a meal. So I put a bag of chips in front of you. It's like, yeah, you need your sodium, but here's a steak. You're gonna have a tough time.
You know what? Here's how I counter with that. I've been in that situation many, many times with these Bengals.
Yeah, and we got the big steak.
We got the big steak with Jamar Chase. I understand that. All right. Cap space going to be a big thing. But shit, I might need a couple more chips to get that offensive line going. If we had a couple more chips the past couple years, man, we'd be back-to-back champs, in my opinion. Just saying. But I agree. But I see where you're coming from. We're going to pick the best player available for sure.
No, I think you agree with me. It's like you already cheated on your girlfriend one time.
Oh, we going like this now.
I'm just saying, bro. You stayed in there before we took this.
I mean, I see where you're coming from. I'm just saying from the fact that
I'm not saying you got a thing for brunettes with big titties, bro. And there's one who picked the one time, and then a couple of weeks later, there's another one. You want me to believe that you wouldn't go after the brunette, and she's Colombian too?
Man,
Chris, what's your answer to that? I need to hear this.
We'd have to text a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We'd have to text a little bit.
Text it right now.
Hey, I'm just saying
right now.
I'm just saying. Hey, that's what big cities.
Where do the Bengals pick?
Hit my line. All right, 29. So
if JSN is there at 29, which would be unreal if that happened, it won't. I don't think.
It might though.
If it does, I would be really.
Once he pops a 4.55, it's gonna be like, yeah, he can't really play like that.
Yeah,
I watched Jarvis Landry being projected top 15 pick slide to round 2 because of a bad 40.
Because T. Higgins ran a 4.55, didn't he? Or 4.5.
But T is big.
Here's the only thing with that. If the Bengals were like, oh, we're gonna go on ahead and trade T. Higgins, I'm getting JSN all fucking day, and we're re-signing Tyler Boyd, and we still got Jamar Chase. But if they're gonna sign Jamar Chase to an extension, they're gonna sign T. Higgins to an extension, they're gonna sign Joe Burrow to an extension. Mm-hmm. The money's gonna be between those three, and I get that you could go with JSN as a 3.
Just imagine him as your.
I mean, that word now. Maybe we're talking.
What if you don't want to pay T. Higgins?
Man, I mean, but from the word that we're getting is that T. Higgins is gonna get paid from the Cincinnati Bengals.
Just imagine though how insane that offense would be if Tyler Boyd, he's good and all, I'll say it. But JSN's going to be better than him, in my opinion. Imagine him as your slot receiver.
That's where I'm talking. That's where I could see it. Tyler Boyd has 1 year left on his contract. If we want to trade up and be like, oh, we'll give some team Tyler Boyd's contract and we'll take JSN for 4 years. That'd be beautiful. Someone's going to have to end up leaving, but it's a fun conversation to have because it is the offseason. And Chris's analogies are pretty enticing, especially
my analogies are Colombian bitches, please
hit my line.
That was a really good analogy. I'll be honest.
I love their type.
Okay. You love the Colombian woman?
Line. Yeah, the Colombian woman. Go ahead. I got that nice little riz there. We can
Oh yeah, bro. I've been watching Narcos, bro. They have some crazy Colombian on. I'm like, hey, yo.
Got that right. Got to think about all that real quick. And I feel like this show we're kind of building situations for quarterbacks. Like we're talking about quarterbacks, talking about receivers, and pairing them with quarterbacks. Now we got to talk about the chips, as Kris said. I mean, Brady, take it away with this one.
All right, so Paris Johnson. Everyone loves him. No Buckeye fan hates on Paris Johnson. He's a great dude. Always helping in the community. Showed up on the football field in a big way this year. Is he the best offensive tackle in the draft? And also give me the other guys in contention and like where you would put them, at least pre-combine.
I'd argue that he's the best one in a couple years.
Yeah, because he was only 1 year starter at tackle.
That's what I'm saying. Like PJ does everything right.
Right.
Like sometimes I sit here and not to quote my guy Drake, but like God has favorites.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Like
he's one of them for sure.
Hold up. Let him cook.
That's the guy that like you can drop him off at any program, like any NFL team, and not ever have to worry about that side of your offensive line for like 10 years.
There you go.
He's not going to get in trouble off the field. Nope. He is an insanely hard worker. He's been a pro since he got to campus. People talk about his pro demeanor. I mean, that's a guy that you want to be the face of your program. I mean, you're going to start hearing the stories here in the next like 3 or 4 months. And people are going to be like, if I have a son, I want my son to be like Paris Johnson Jr.
Yeah.
Like comes from a football family, obviously his stepdad, coach running backs at Georgia Tech. Like that is a guy that understands how to work, when to work. And then you also pair that with the fact that he is really strong. That doesn't get talked about. Yeah. He's got great bend. He's got a mean attitude in finishing blocks. He's the best run blocker by a pretty wide margin. He's the best pass blocker by a little bit less of a margin, but still a margin. Mm-hmm. And he's a guy that, again, GMs, they want to draft and not worry. Yeah. When you do that at that position, at tackle for that long, huge.
Yeah. Huge. Massive.
He's the one.
Yeah, I would agree. I think if I'm a GM, I don't think I could take Skronsky is a good player from Northwestern. Good player.
He's a little undersized for tackle, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like 6'4".
6'4".
Yeah, something like that. He's not
really good player. Really good player.
Oh, for sure. He's. I feel like he's still a safe pick because I think he produced Northwestern. This guy was not giving up many sacks. He was always. He didn't mess up. He didn't miss blitzes. He was a good run blocker as well. He had some great blocks against Ohio State this year in that crazy game that I never will watch again because it was so disgusting. But Peter Skronsky, man, I do like him, but I think Paris he's OT1 in this draft. He's a freak. Just look at the dude. Yeah. Like you look at him, he's a big dude. You'd think he's scary, but he's a really nice guy off the field. On the field, he's not a nice guy, but off the field, he's nice.
He's the prototype right there. He's the prototype.
So my OT list, I have Paris 1, Peter 2, I have Broderick Jones 3, DeWand 4. And then Osiris Torrance is kind of my one that I'm a little confused about. I don't know if he's a right tackle or a guard.
Yeah, he's kind of a tweener. He's one of those that you draft if you could use both in a way. Like if you because he's flexible. I like Torrance for sure. I feel like this year at Florida, because he was a transfer, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he was so going to Florida was a good move for him because that's where he really blossomed. But yeah, I like that list for sure. I really like Dawn to 4 too. Seeing him at the Senior Bowl, just killing dudes.
Someone's gonna fall in love with my guy.
For real, I think he'll go in the first. Yeah, I really do.
He might be a Bengal.
He could be.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, that honestly, now that I think about it,
saying
he might be the favorite to get him at 29. Like,
just saying, best player available, offensive line. Just depends on what we do in free agency. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
hello. I'm not going to hate. I won't go hate. You know what I'm saying?
Jackson Carman, is that the?
Yeah, it's left tackle. I honestly didn't think he was that bad when he had to step in this year. He was all right, but shoot, if we could upgrade, I'll take an upgrade anytime I can. But hey,
we love a good upgrade.
We do love a good upgrade. Definitely. Show. Now, Chris, all right. So obviously, the handle of this show is talking about CJ Stroud.
Yep.
So when it comes to April, what day is the draft again? I should have had this pulled up already. It is March. And I think it's the 27th. 27th, I think. April 27th. All right. The last week April. All right. So when it comes April 27th, CJ Stroud's name gets called. What pick and who's the team?
Colts at 3.
Okay. I think that's a great scenario. I
think that's a good spot for him. He'll have a number 1 wide receiver out there. The offensive line is decent enough.
Yeah.
And he'll be playing in a dome. He'll be inside.
Midwest, baby. Yeah. Big Ten capital. Like
he'll finally get to play in Indianapolis, man.
Chill. Too soon for that. Too soon. But no. I think 3 is good for him. I think that Bryce Young will end up being the number 1 overall pick.
I think so too.
Yeah,
it sounds that way for sure, right? And usually when you hear things, they end up being true like that. Like you always know the first. You always.
You know, you will a week before. You'll know.
Yeah.
And sometimes even way longer.
Well, it's just about who the longer the Bears wait, the more the price goes up. So they're going to wait.
Yeah.
A long time.
Mm-hmm.
And so it'll probably be the week before the draft. A team will move up to that one spot, and then we'll know who Bryce Young's going to, and then we'll also know, okay, the Bears have a chance to really build. And also, the Bears are going to have $100 million in cap space for next year too.
Oh, it's unbelievable. They have, the most cap space by a good 20-30 million. Like,
most cap space in NFL history for a single season.
That's unreal.
Unbelievable.
Hey, who's surprised? Watching Ikonemi St. Brown trying to catch a football.
Literally,
Dante Pettis, man.
They went to Walmart and said, "Let me, you come play tackle. You look like you could play receiver. You fix phone screens. Yeah, come play tight end."
Yeah, they also went to the hoops, bro. They also went to the rec league, and they was shit, bro. You look like you could play football. We gonna put you at receiver. You kind of tall, you know what I'm saying? Shit.
But then let me go trade for Mapletron and fool people, pretend like I'm giving a guy a shot.
Oh my goodness. God. Yeah, but look at it though. Look at it. CJ Stroud in Indianapolis. He's gonna have Jonathan Taylor back there. Mm-hmm. The offensive line, obviously, like it wasn't good this year, but in years past, it's shown the potential that it could be at, and it could be a really, really good one of the top offensive lines of football. Yeah, they got some upside. Yeah. Quentin Nelson. And you also look at the receivers. You got Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce on the outside. Hopefully they could add,
one more.
Yep, add one more. I know Paris Campbell's, probably going to be walking and all that, but who knows? Maybe they could add a big name receiver or something like that. So, I think in a first year, and then the defense, it's not bad, but, I don't think it's a bad situation for CJ Stroud to walk into at all. It's,
not awful
for first year. Especially in a division where it's like Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback in that division. And then who the hell else is there? Texans are obviously, one of the worst.
Yeah, they have a chance to go 1-2 punch with the Jags there.
Exactly. Yeah. The Titans are on the decline. They play smash mouth football, and Ryan Tannehill is your quarterback. So you can kind of sign your season away like the paper. But yeah, so I think the Colts will be in a good spot if they're able to draft well, get CJ Stroud, build a little bit around him and all that. And then the next year they can, add a bit more. And I think they'll be all right. I think it'll be in a good spot.
Year 2 with your quarterback, go spend. That's what it is. So
that's what it is.
Make sure you flash a little bit, and then year 2 just spend.
Yeah, it's more. You've seen teams do the draft offense, pay defense. That's exactly what Cincinnati did. You draft the offense, you get that camaraderie together in the locker room, on the field.
Defense are mercenaries, man.
Yep, that's what it is. That's the method right there. And talk about another receiver though, Brady. What do you want to talk about? But this time he's not in the draft.
Yeah, so now we're actually going to step away from the draft real quick. So we've been talking about the end of the draft, all these prospects. So actually, this is from I heard this watching the show, and I like it. I really like it. Jayden Ballard. Let's talk about Jayden Ballard this spring. How big is it for him? And will Jayden Ballard replace Julian Fleming and start as wide receiver 3 for Ohio State this fall?
Do you guys believe in chemistry?
Oh, I believe in chemistry.
Never took it, but I believe in it.
I took it and it sucked, but it made me believe.
So right now there's a house on campus, and the 4 people that live there are Kyle McCord, Emeka Egbuka, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Jayden Ballard.
I love that.
They've lived there.
I always see TikToks in that house all the time.
They've lived together.
Jayden Ballard posted.
That's lit. That's lit.
Yeah, for 2 years now. They've been there. Quarterback, the 5-star quarterback, the 5-star receiver, and the other 2.
Yep.
Julian Fleming and Emeka are out for the spring. You don't realize that. Yep. Marvin Harrison Jr. is on a snap count and will not be scrimmaging up until the spring game.
Yep. Right.
That leaves Ballard. That leaves only Ballard.
Why do
you speak it into existence, man?
And if he is what the Maslin coach told us he is, 24 miles per hour in a workout, high jumper.
Yep.
It just sounds a little too much like Devin Smith.
Man.
It sounds a little too much like Jameson Williams.
Yeah.
Last year's combine, Chris Olave was asked about the receivers back at Ohio State. He said the freakiest one is Ballard.
You're right. I remember that. He said he is fast.
Yeah, he's fast. And to say that without his name being brought up, Yeah, fast. At 6'2" is what he's at right now.
Ooh.
I just don't know, man.
And,
I think that if he's any good.
And what number does Jayden Ballard wear again? Remind the people.
Number 9.
9.
Same number as they both went to Massillon. It's just feeling a little.
Done a lot of this tonight.
Hey,
just saying. Hey, and
look with the way speed. Look, here's the thing: with the way speed has been killing our corners and safeties all last year, it's the same corners and safeties. If he just uses his speed in practice, he's going to be scoring all the time, and it's going to be at the point where it's like, there you go. Hopefully, the guys on the outside can get better, but
I hope
we found our guy.
And I love Ohio guys starting. Like, call me, I love Ohio guys starting.
Yeah.
Like,
no, for sure.
Go drop your nuts. Go deep.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I really hope so. So we know what Julian Fleming is at this point. Like, watching him a whole season, like, I'm not going to hate on him or anything. He's not a bad player by any means. Like, he's shown flat. He played good against Georgia. Had some good. Had 6 straight games with touchdowns. Yeah. Great. But I just know Jayden Ballard's ceiling is higher than Julian Fleming's. It just is. So if he can start, if I see him walk on that field, I know the passing attack we could have. I just want to see him run that. You remember that play that we would always run in 2021 that we would send Garrett Wilson jet motion, fake him, fake the running back, and then CJ just steps up and Chris Olave is already in the end zone going to the right, catching a tutty.
Yeah, like that weird streak, but it's like a diagonal streak.
A diagonal streak. Yeah. And it's usually right between the two. It's in cover 2. He just runs right between the 2 safeties, and they're like, beautiful. They try to get deep with him, but just don't beat him there.
Too fast.
Beautiful.
That's what I need.
I'm all in on Jayden Ballard. All in on.
No, me too. I'm gonna say this, Chris. So obviously, last year we had a show talking about the spring game. This was actually Matt's first episode on the podcast, and he was talking about Emeka Egbuka maybe being the guy to take the top off the defense. I think we're a year later, but I think we might have found our guy in that.
I don't think Emeka has deep speed. Like,
I don't either.
Yeah, we were just wondering that last year, but I think we found the guy that has the speed more than enough.
Ballard has deep speed. I think he posted the fastest in-game time with the ball in his hands in the entire Big Ten, 22 point.
Yeah,
something like that
against Toledo on the Kyle McCord's touchdown pass.
On the out route.
Yeah,
I really just seriously cannot wait to see. I've been wanting this guy to play for a minute. Like, I know he played a little bit against Notre Dame, caught like a hitch route or 2, but like, why is he running hitches?
Run a go
route. Let X, I don't care. Let anybody else run a hitch. Let him run a streak.
Run the hitch.
Yeah. Ballard doesn't have to put on any crazy moves. I mean, literally, Jalen Hyatt was just running past people without doing anything else this year.
Just go be faster than somebody.
It's just like elementary school, man. Everybody be racing and all that stuff, and the fastest dude be getting a girlfriend and all that. Oh, look, he's so fast, But shoot, here's the thing, hit him on a go ball. You hit him on a go ball at 6. You watch him run fast. You don't get the ball. You see how fast that guy is? That's like crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And also, like,
he's a wow.
Well, it keeps the safety out of the box too.
Yeah,
exactly. That's going to open up Emeka so much underneath. Like, Emeka, like, I really love his game, like the way he works underneath, and like he kind of plays a little bit like JSN, just it's not as refined. Like, I'll be like, he's like a bigger KJ Hill to me. Yeah, I could definitely see that a lot. Like KJ Hill type of style where he runs smart routes underneath to where he's a quarterback's friend. He's he's reliable. He has great hands. He's a big, like, that dude, like, he's a big dude. Like, people don't realize how strong Emeka really is.
He's as big as Julian Fleming. Maybe he's got some Jalen Marshall in him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jalen Marshall, I can see that for sure. Like, those guys, Jalen Marshall's hands were better than people remember. Like, and so were Emeka's. Like, I remember Emeka against Maryland. It was late in the game. CJ threw an absolute dime to him down the sideline. Emeka, it was like a tough angle going to his left. Emeka just stuck his hands out, sticky hands. Game is sticky, exactly. Yep. Sticky hands. Yep. Like, it's actually crazy. Like, That's the one thing. Like, I can't remember the last time we had a receiver that can't catch.
No one has never had the drops issues.
No, like I'm trying to think of like that as being.
I had a couple bad drops in one game, but then ended up really tightening up.
Yeah.
But then he'll have like a crazy catch the very next play. Like,
it's all good there, man. Jayden Ballard, do like a split cover 2, or the guy that can put a free high safety on death row. There you go. We're gonna wrap things up here. Man, this was a fun episode again. It's always fun.
You guys are awesome.
Man, it's always fun to have Kris on for sure. Like,
got that right, man. Yep. Oh, man. With that being said, Chase Shantz, Brady King, Kris Drew. Any final thoughts? We all good?
I'm good, brother.
Man, I'm good too, man. It was a good show.
All right, cool. We'll see you.